the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat. With everything going on in this nation, we need some information, and that's why salt need to be stationed in your rotation. With real talk and real topics, real people, real problems. Think we need some help to solve them, and leave it up to Colin and the Donovan. Cause that's what's that? Oh, let's get ready.
We're back to Salt of the Streets podcast. Social and political commentary. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? That's always and forever. That's right.
Salt of the streets.
Another fantastic episode. Everyday Normal Person's podcast.
Salt of the streets.
Upper left or the upper left? Just upper left.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat. With everything going on in this nation, we need some information, and that's why salt need to be stationed in your rotation. With real talk and real topics, real people, real problems. Think we need some help to solve them, and leave it up to Colin and the Donovan. Cause that's what's that? Oh, let's get ready.
We're back to Salt of the Streets podcast. Social and political commentary. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? That's always and forever. That's right.
Salt of the streets.
Another fantastic episode. Everyday Normal Person's podcast.
Salt of the streets.
Upper left or the upper left? Just upper left.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat. With everything going on in this nation, we need some information, and that's why salt need to be stationed in your rotation. With real talk and real topics, real people, real problems. Think we need some help to solve them, and leave it up to Colin and the Donovan. Cause that's what's that? Oh, let's get ready.
We're back to Salt of the Streets podcast. Social and political commentary. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? That's always and forever. That's right.
Salt of the streets.
Another fantastic episode. Everyday Normal Person's podcast.
Salt of the streets.
Upper left or the upper left? Just upper left.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat. With everything going on in this nation, we need some information, and that's why salt need to be stationed in your rotation. With real talk and real topics, real people, real problems. Think we need some help to solve them, and leave it up to Colin and the Donovan. Cause that's what's that? Oh, let's get ready.
We're back to Salt of the Streets podcast. Social and political commentary. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? That's always and forever. That's right.
Salt of the streets.
Another fantastic episode. Everyday Normal Person's podcast.
Salt of the streets.
Upper left.
Next week. What are we doing next week, Donovan?
Haircut on Friday. Oh, shit.
We're live now, buddy.
Oh, okay, we're live.
I felt like
Thank
I
you
was
for
just
joining
gonna, I
us.
was like, I'm just gonna
Salt
jump
of the
right in here,
Streets Pre-show, episode 114.
bro. How did we get 114?
Wow.
But we're here.
All right, thank you for joining us. We are out here. We're doing it. It's a big day. Obviously, I'm in New Jersey. Colin's in New Jersey. Have the Earl Thomas on. Colin as the BAM or as the beast mode on. Yep. So we're out here. We're doing it. Thank you again
He's
for joining
always
us.
gonna be a Seahawk. That's all I'm saying.
In your eyes?
In my eyes.
In all the commercials and stuff, he's going to be Seahawk forever. Even though he retired as a Raider, he's going
You're right.
He's going to be a Seahawk forever.
He retired as a Raider just for him.
For
Okay?
himself,
For
yeah.
himself, right? Realistically, he's a Seahawk.
Yeah,
to
no,
me.
it's a personal arc. Everything personal.
Yeah.
Just like why we do the show, Salt of the Streets, live again. My name is Donovan.
I'm calling.
There he is. We're happy to have you guys. What did you eat today before we got here? Before this bang. What
Before
did
the
you eat?
bang, I had like
Before the Big Bang.
Before the Big Bang. The Miami Cola Big Bang. I had Carolina made me like this stack of pancakes. So it was a pancake.
Kodiak cakes?
And then Kodiak cakes, I think. And then it was some bacon on top of that, and then a fried egg on top of that, and then another pancake on top with some bourbon barrel aged Vermont fucking syrup,
You guys
bro.
are so bougie.
It was good.
Excellent.
It was good. I
Excellent.
needed that this morning, man.
I'm happy to hear it.
Dragging today.
It's a weird day. I fell asleep on the couch last night at like 9 o'clock. It's a
Whoa.
weird time. Yeah, it's a weird time. I think I'm still getting. This was my first week back to work, waking up at 3 again. So I think I was just very tired. But it's a weird time. It's a weird time. There's a lot going on this week. It's going to be a big show. Obviously, we have a lot of
Great
good stuff
show.
going on. A little grab bag piece going on.
And I gotta tell you, that fucking Instagram video you did with the slow motion trickle down.
You like that?
That was fire.
It's another one of those things that I'm just sitting at work and I'm like, that's gold.
That's
I'm
a
like,
great
that's
idea.
Gold right there. Yeah, so I
So
staged
dope.
it, put some business cards in with the index cards,
Yup.
made sure I put it on my sweatshirt. Very staged, very beautiful.
Dude, it was fucking phenomenal.
I've been caught a few times doing that. Look up and people are watching me
Like,
while
what
they
are
get
you
in their
doing,
car,
dude?
and I'm like, don't worry about it. Fuck off. Like, I'm making content here. I'm trying to earn money. I'm building a business. Fuck off. Yeah.
Oh
People
my
at Bannock
God.
don't understand. I've gone live at work before, like on lunch or right when I get off work. I'm out of my car and I just go live. So yeah, people are getting in their cars and they're like,
That's
"This
so
guy
funny.
is just
What is he
getting
doing?"
after it in his car right now. He is just ranting at no one in his car right now." So
You look like that crazy person that's sitting in his car at lunch and all you're doing is just
yeah, exactly. Well, and I always have the door a little bit open. Like I get way too hot in my
Yeah,
truck.
you can't
if
be locked up in
so
there.
I always have the door a little bit open. So if you stop and you're quiet when you're getting in your car, I'm sure you can hear me going on about whatever it is that I'm upset about. Because I only go live when I'm like hot about something, you
Yup.
know. So yeah, I can't
makes for good
imagine-
content, buddy. It works.
I can't imagine what people at work have heard me, you know. I don't know. I told you last week people heard me fucking going on at Tyler about, you know, authoritarianism and,
Oh, yeah.
and taking people's rights away and shit. And this is why we need guns. And no, I'm sure that there's more than one person at my work that's like, this guy is just.
This guy is he scares me.
Yeah, well, and when I was looking yesterday at the people who had watched our stories, I then just started to look at the people who had watched them, and there's like, yeah, just some people that I went to school with and like some people that I work with and stuff like that, and I began to wonder what they think about me because I'm much quieter at work, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Much quieter at work, so I couldn't help but wonder, like,
That is funny.
yeah, the people who don't really know me personally only know me at work. Like, I wonder what they think about me having this being the only thing that they see
Oh, dude.
is the clips that we post on the internet and, like, whatever
Yup.
other videos.
That's kind of one of the reasons I'm generally happy about like my I wouldn't say my coworkers, but like my other my colleagues, if you will. Like they're just not in that kind of their interest does not lie there at all. Like pulling up a YouTube video or something like that, that's just not what they do. And I'm kind of glad about that because we already have some very interesting conversations when it comes to what we talk about anyways.
Yes.
And like if they were to like plug in, and I would wonder what landscape that would really look like at the end. It would be kind of awkward, I think, depending on people's takes, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, hey bro, we've never had any problems. I've never changed any of my ideas or any of this stuff. But now that you know it, it's out in the open, a little awkwardness that might show up,
And
you know.
yeah, and there's something to be said for that because it makes you like have to be way more confident and sure of what you're saying because
yes.
someone could call you on it 5 years from now. You
Yep.
know, and be like, "Well, you said this."
That's
Like,
the dream.
I did say that. Like that is true. However, I'm pretty sure that this is what I was talking about. Like I really need the whole clip, you know, for
Yep.
and I don't look forward to that at all because of the more vocal of the two of us. I
Right.
don't look forward to being in public and have someone being like, "You fucking said this on this day." Be like, yeah, I don't.
Do you remember 5 years ago when
Yeah.
you said this about X? I was
Exactly.
like, no, I don't.
Well,
I don't at all.
And
But
especially the amount of growth that both of us have gone through over this time, you know,
Yeah.
like if you jump into it right now and you hear me talking about, I don't know, any number of things, but
Mm-hmm.
then you go back and listen to one of the early episodes, you're like, you are holding a completely opposite opinion from what you were. And you're like, I have learned a lot.
I've learned a lot,
over
man.
the last 3 years, you know, that it's changed a lot of
I've
my
grown.
opinions. And, yeah. So,
That's so funny. Because, I mean, it's the political story that's, as old as time or whatever. It's like,
yes.
you're young and you're dumb and you have opinions about things that you may not be able to fully grasp necessarily. And then as you get older, you develop those ideas and those, the theories and whatever it is, and then you change your mind on whatever specific issue you're talking about.
Yeah.
But not in today's culture, bro. In today's culture, there ain't no nuance. You cannot have a different opinion today than what you had 6 months ago,
No.
or 3 years ago, or 15 years ago for certain people. It's bad. But yeah, that's
Not unless you're constantly atoning for having held that opinion at one time, you know.
Exactly.
You need to consistently atone for it, and then it's acceptable sometimes. But if we get too mad, we're still gonna bring it up. so
Oh man.
I wanted to talk to you about this. There is a show, and I can't tell you exactly what the title of it is, right? I think
Okay.
that it's called like Avatar or some shit like that, right? But it's on a network.
Mm-hmm. It's not the Last Airbender Avatar.
No. Like an avatar on a website, right? And so
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
The idea of this show is that it's like a talent show, a singing show.
Oh, okay.
Right? But for people who are, it's so fucked up, who are like generally unappealing, I guess, or maybe they have a disability or something, or like somebody who might be turned off by at first glance, right? Because they're not beautiful, because they're not perfect, and they allow these people to make a computer generated image of whatever they want. It can look however they want, any color skin and hair and whatever, right? Can look however they want. And then they sing through this avatar thing to these famous people.
So it's like what's that masked singer type
Yes,
of deal, except it's digital avatars.
Yes, and not famous people. It's regular people. Because the masked singer is famous people who are in a mask, and then you try and decide who they are. Yeah, so God damn it, I should have wrote down what the show was called.
I'm looking it
I'm
up.
sure you can find it. Yeah, because I'm seeing like commercials for it. And I'm watching this commercial. Jordan's sitting there with me. It's like, this is really fucked up.
Alter ego?
Yes.
Alter ego.
Yes. She's like, what do you mean? And I said, they're just getting us more and more used to not seeing regular people. Like, to be living in a computer simulation where you can look however you want and you're just used to interacting with avatars all the time because, someone's really famous and they became famous through their avatar. Because almost definitely, if you're a person and you're unhappy with your appearance or whatever the fuck, and you're on this show and So, if you're doing this, right? I just remember during the videos they can't hear us, but
Yeah, no, you were right, and I switched right back. But
yeah,
I got a good look at it.
So the alter egos, right? The reason that I felt like it was weird is because if you are successful on this show, I feel comfortable assuming that you will continue to make content through this same avatar. You're going to keep being famous through this character that you've created on the show.
Unless they've got some
Right?
skeevy little fucking thing in the contract that says if you win,
And I'm sure they
we
get 10%.
royalties or
I'm
whatever.
sure they get 10%, right? I guarantee that.
Yeah.
But these people are going to continue to make content through this avatar, and that's just, we're going to be used to that person is famous, but not the person, that character. This character is famous. And so when all of our famous people are characters, it's just not even going to be a big deal because
You won't be, your name. You'll be Parzival. You'll
Yes.
be. I just watched.
So that's,
Ready Player
I wrote
One the other
down
day.
Ready Player One because that's exactly what it made me think of, right? It's like That's exactly
That's
what they're
perfect.
setting us up for. Is
Yeah.
people, you just don't worry about what you look like in real life because you're going to live in this whole computer world anyway. Anytime you have any free time, you're going to be existing in this computer world. So
Yep.
it doesn't even matter. And eventually we'll find a way for you to have jobs in this computer world where you're just making money and you can just live through there, right?
Yep.
And that's,
It's only slightly different than the way people make money online now. Really.
yeah.
You know, it's just now it'll be done fully digitized without a human being behind the camera. It'll be your
Yes.
avatar.
Compare this with, there was the article, I cannot remember for the life of me what source it came out of, but about Amazon making cities, right? Like where people can
Yeah, the
live
Amazon
after work.
cities,
Yeah, and they're
Amazon
like,
towns.
This might be the solution to poverty because you just can live there and it's affordable housing and they have food there and stuff like this, and it just all makes sense, right? I'm sorry, didn't less than 200 years ago, for certain, because I don't know exactly when, we had people who were fighting for unions, right? Who were forced to live in towns where they worked,
Yep.
and then they were paid in only credits that they could only use at the stores that were established in these towns owned by these same companies.
Oh,
Is this
God.
not exactly what we're leaning towards?
Okay, so
Because then once you're working there, isn't it just more convenient if you will just
yeah.
pay me in credit to the store anyway? Because I'm going to buy all my groceries there anyway. I eat all my meals.
soul to the company
I
store.
eat all my meals there anyway.
Yep.
My rent goes to this company anyway. So just pay me, give me a discount on my rent, and pay me in the credit, in Amazon credits, in Prime bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Just pay me in that. It just makes more sense. We're like literally 3 steps away from this. And
Well, you know what's funny is we've done this before.
that's what I'm
with
saying.
coal towns,
That's what
except
I'm saying.
now-
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And the messed up part is, so I found a article about this from none other than Jacobin magazine, which is the socialist magazine. Amazon is creating company towns across the United States. In more and more of the country, Amazon acts like an employer in a company town, sucking up whole communities and shaping public goods and services to fit its profit-making needs. Now, the super scary thing about this is, right, and I want to ask you about your weekend and stuff because I got to tell you about mine after this, but we just mentioned I watched Ready Player One last weekend.
Yes.
When I was nursing a hangover on Sunday.
Yes.
And I watched that, and in
Speaking of
that
which.
movie, it's like we're talking about alter ego.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about Amazon fulfillment center towns.
Yes.
In that movie and in the book, the kind of like the evil corporation is called Innovative Online Industries, IOI, and they have IOI fulfillment centers.
Yes.
Where they keep people that like are in debt or whatever it is to the company and all this stuff, and they have to live there, and then they basically do slave labor and indentured servitude and shit like that.
Yes.
This could go that way if this becomes a
I'm-
reality,
I'm
man. Except
telling
it'll
you,
be
we
Amazon
are-
instead of IOI.
We are 3 steps away from this, of renewing the coal towns that we were just talking about, of living Ready Player One in 2021.
Dude, I
we
was
are
just
3 steps
telling
away from
Carolina when we were watching this. I was like, this is going to happen. And
Yes.
not only that, I'm like, I want it to happen. I want to live in the Oasis. That sounds good. I want to live in the stacks. No.
The next step to this is Amazon introduced, and then like we have Prime bucks now. You can pay real money to have more Prime dollars, and if you have Prime dollars, we accept those at a higher value than regular dollars, and you're keeping our money in circulation.
And they'll
right?
do it via crypto.
That's what I'm saying.
Boom.
Because we already accept crypto. That's what I'm saying. This is the next
Yup.
step. When you already have people living in the towns, now we have Prime bucks. Stores in Amazon towns now accepting Prime bucks. You then, I'm telling you, you're
And you
there.
get paid in Prime bucks.
That's step
and
2. Yep, that's step 2 is now the Amazon stores are accepting Prime bucks, right?
Yeah.
Step 3 is, do you just want your paycheck in Prime bucks?
Yeah.
Because we can just give you your pay. Or we can,
mean, everything
we can give
you
you a
use.
percentage of your paycheck in Prime bucks if you want. You can have half Prime bucks and half real dollars because, inflation's getting kind of sketchy anyway, and things are starting to cost more out in the other stores, but in the Amazon store, the price is staying consistent of the Amazon bucks. It's only cost me 32 Amazon bucks, but it
get
cost
your
me
employee
35
discount.
real dollars. I'm telling you.
I don't like this, dude.
No.
So
it was-
what's kind of funny about that?
It's terrifying.
I bbelieve you are prophesizing right now.
I'm telling you, this is a clip. This is the clip next week because what the fuck?
Because it's kind of ironic. A buddy of mine gave me this list of 11 prophecies from this modern day prophet.
Right.
And I started reading through it yesterday afternoon, and I don't want to share anything online because it's kind of a personal thing and all that.
Yeah.
But I want you to glance at it
Deal.
before you leave today. It's very interesting.
Deal.
But I was like, dude, prophecies they're coming, and Dawn over here is the salty prophet.
I'm telling
We're
you.
there. I don't like this because you've said things in the past that have, in kind of a, I don't want to say Alex Jonesy way,
We're
have
really
come
good at
true.
this.
You know what I mean? I'm
We're
like,
really good
I
at
don't
this.
like that.
Yeah. So I was not comforted by that. I did not like it. I think that the first half step towards the first step is reporters saying, "Hey, this might be a good idea."
Yeah, exactly.
That's not,
Hey,
it's
at
no
least the
good.
socialists are on it, man. They're like,
It's-
this is bad. The
But
Amazon
that's how it
giant's coming
starts.
down.
But that's how it starts. Is a socialist writes about it, and then a slightly more moderate left-leaning newspaper writes an article about this article to try and criticize it. It's an opinion piece about this. It's a review, an analysis
Oh, yeah.
of this article. And
I
in that, they're like,
predict
"This
this.
is stupid. This was never crazy." But
But
if you think about it, it might help us with poverty and inequality and all these things because woke. Story over. And then someone else writes an analysis of that, and their analysis of the end part is half of the actual article because they're like, well, they said this really interesting thing at the end about
Oh, when was
how
that
it could
article
maybe be
written?
beneficial for, so
I got to look up when that article came out because
I think just this week, maybe last week.
yeah, Amazon Towns, enter Jacobin Magazine, 2021. This was in July 24th.
So 2
Jacobin
months
wrote
ago.
about it. So give it about another month, and MSNBC will be the first one to be
We had
running
some,
that shit.
yeah, some online people talking about it this week. This week was the first time I saw like a post about it online.
Oh,
So yeah, give it some more time. 2 weeks, and like you said, it will hit the news media 1 week. 2 weeks, it'll hit mainstream media, and they'll be talking about it.
Yep.
It'll go back onto YouTube, people talking about what mainstream media talked about it. And then the idea is then in circulation. It's going to
Yep.
start going. Jeff Bezos is going to hear about it if he's not the one that implanted this idea at Jacobin. He probably has some type of weird stake, allegedly. I don't
Allegedly.
know. I'm just.
He owns everything.
This is no longer fact. I'm just throwing shit out there. Jeff Bezos probably owns Jacobin, at least a small portion of it. He's planting stories there to try and make Amazon the ruler of the world. And no one knows what's going to happen. Jeff
Oh my
Bezos
God, dude.
is the architect of Amazon Town.
He's the
So,
architect. Oh my God.
it's dangerous. It's going to be a good show this week.
Yes.
We've got a lot of stuff going
I'm
on.
feeling it right now.
God.
This is going to be good.
We've got a lot of stuff
Oh,
going on.
we
We're
do.
going to talk about the border crisis at the border, which apparently seems to be, at least the open air camp portion of it is dealt with now. The Del Rio open air camp, where there was at one point 15,000 Haitian migrants, there is no longer
Oh, yeah.
anybody there. They are now dispersed at facilities along the southern border, different ICE facilities, CBP facilities being processed. So that will happen in the coming weeks. Some people will be expelled. Some people will stay here. We'll talk about that. We'll get into more detail. I got lots of clips and stuff like that. Alejandro Mayorkas was in that press briefing that I
Yeah.
watched, so I've got a lot of
That
clips
dude.
of Mayorkas saying a lot of really stupid shit. It's not great. So
Did you happen to catch the press? Because you watched basically all the press briefings, right?
Yes.
You saw the one where Ducey was asking Psaki about essentially if one of the, I don't know, refugee migrants, if one of the Haitian migrants or something like that down there says like, I'm pregnant or my wife's pregnant, they get passed through, and Ducey asked her, is like, are you checking to do this? And Psaki just shifted and was like, do you have a problem with pregnant women? Or
So
are
do
pregnant women
are they a
causing
threat?
problems?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you
Is that
think
a
they're
clip this
pregnant?
week?
No, it's
Oh,
not. I
man.
don't have that one.
It's floating around there all over Twitters
yeah.
and stuff too. It is one of the worst Psaki moments I think that I've seen thus far.
Well, the worst
and we
part-
got 3 more years of this shit.
Yeah.
More than that.
The worst part is the next day, the day after she said that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was actually Peter Ducey who asked. I know it wasn't Peter Ducey, it was somebody else asking the status of people at the border, like, have we been? How many people at the border had COVID or had symptoms? And he's like, oh, we actually didn't test anybody. So, I don't even know, how many people may have had COVID because we literally tested nobody.
So we're not vetting anybody.
Said there
That's-
were some people who were sick with not COVID specifically, and we treated them, but that was it. Said, but we didn't actually test anybody. So But
Oh,
we're
it's gonna
doing
be-
this because
it's gonna be
COVID,
good.
and
Yeah.
it could be dangerous, for whatever. I don't
For
even. It
whatever.
doesn't even.
There's no logic
No.
here at
Nope.
all. Yeah,
It's
I
very
can't wait to talk
inconsistent.
about that because I have some interesting questions about. Because it's not the usual demographic of migrant that we usually see on the southern
No.
border, and it's there was that earthquake in Haiti and all that stuff a while back, and so delayed response to it, and then there's the political assassination and gangs and all this good stuff, and this is new to our more recent immigration crises down on the southern border. This demographic
Yes.
of folks coming up is totally different, and the pictures are very strange to see. And we'll be looking at some today.
Yes,
while
we're going to
looking
get
at
into
stuff.
all that. We are going to talk about some COVID updates. Obviously, we may or may not have somebody call in who has been working, doing logistics work in part of Florida for COVID since essentially the very beginning. Logistics for organizing PPE and testing and vaccinations and all of that type of stuff. He's been working actively with people hands-on, and also, like I said, with all the equipment and everything. He's very knowledgeable, has a lot of very good information from Florida, but is from, doesn't matter. Got a lot of very good information. He's a very credible person.
Yeah,
I have
you
no
had a
reason
really
to
good
disbelieve.
conversation
Yeah.
with him the other day.
Yep, had a very good conversation the other day. So may or may not hear from him today. And if we don't, then I am definitely going to organize something with him over the next few weeks for him to call in and be on the show, Zoom in, whatever. We'll be able to get lots of good information from him then. We're going to talk about General Milley.
yeah,
And
yeah.
excuse me, some calls to China, some not good shit. We're going to talk about, what's it called? The AUKUS. The AUKUS Treaty.
AUKUS.
Yes.
The it's so AU would be
Australia.
and then Australia, UK, US, Australia. Yeah, it's the trifecta. And
France is pissed.
France is super pissed,
France
bro.
is pissed at the end. So,
Withdrew their diplomats. Pissed.
From
That's
America
how pissed
and UK,
Macron is
yeah.
right now.
yeah, very unhappy. So we're going to get into that. There's obviously a lot of money floating around defense-wise, a lot of different countries. So it's going to be, we're going to talk government shutdown. We have all these things.
Yep.
It's a grab bag show. The last three are going to be smaller topics. It's going to be easier to get in there. So we may actually hit all these topics today.
We might today.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So
If I threw it on the thumbnail, I'm trying to hit all of them, what
yes,
I mean?
yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a good time. We have a lot of good stuff going on today. One thing I did want to point out, and once I mention it, no one's going to be able to forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Jen Psaki, something I want everyone to really pay attention to today because some of the clips I edited specifically so that you could see it. Before Jen Psaki answers a question and when she's done taking a question, or maybe even it's just before the next question, she always swipes her hair to the side.
Interesting.
Always.
Huh.
So
Some might say that might be a tell.
it's a weird deal. I don't know what the deal is, and I was telling Jordan, I said, I don't understand why she doesn't cut her hair. So and I know that it's not like, so I know that's
Misogynist.
not the point. I said, but it seems weird that literally every time you answer a question, you look down, you have to look up, and you have to swipe your hair. Cut your hair different. Because I would cut my hair different, personally.
It just seems like it would get annoying. Because, yeah,
What
you
I'm
got to
saying.
look down at the binder and then get a little. She should be doing the little flick toss like that. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's a, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So a
Yeah,
lot
I've
of the
never
clips that we
really-
have
yeah.
today.
Now that I'm thinking about it, you say that, I'm like, yeah, that's always happening. And it does make sense. But, yeah,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you make that situation better for yourself? I
And
don't
you
know.
can't, and it doesn't matter. It's just
Yeah.
a thing that I noticed, and
weird
now I
tick.
can't ever not notice it. But you,
I hate when that kind of shit happens, man.
yeah, and
Find a
you,
little something now, you can never unsee it.
and you can't always see it because sometimes the camera's on the reporters,
Yep.
But if the camera's looking at her before she takes a question, hair swipe. So I want
If these
everyone.
videos weren't coming out during the middle of the day, we could make that a drinking contest.
Yeah, exactly,
It's a
exactly.
drinking game. Every time Jen Psaki does a hair quaff,
Yeah.
you
So I
take a
want
shot.
everyone to pay attention to that today. It's going to be really good.
Oh my god.
I finished. Oh, should we make our announcement? Is it time for that? Should we
I
wait?
think we could do that.
Okay.
We could
I
definitely
wanted
do that.
to- I don't know if anybody's watching. I don't know how many people are watching right now, but I want to tell
3.
everybody. There you go, everybody. Thank you for watching, and we will announce it again. Obviously, this is going to be part of our 37-minute read from now on. We have decided officially that we are going to launch our Patreon today.
Boom! We're gonna do
So-
it live.
Live.
And actually, I'm gonna switch over to the desktop display.
Do it.
Just give me a sec, because I'm gonna turn the mics back on, because right now we have it shut off.
Okay.
So hang with me 1 second, folks. We'll show you our pretty Patreon. OBS. Backdoor stuff. On. Boom, we have mics.
Here we
Now
are.
You don't see the infinite screen of death.
There we go.
Welcome, everybody, to the Salt of the Streets Patreon account.
This is our Patreon.
This is our
So, as you can see, we have a couple of different tiers here. There's some different options. Starts at $3, goes up to $50. No one feel obligated. This is obviously by choice. Everyone's in a different situation. That's why we have different tiers here. We are obviously going to start making new content as the Patreon requires. So, do you want to go ahead and read some of these things that we have here, or at least the options?
So, starting off at our level 3 tier, we have what we call the Salty Supporter level. And you are getting our undying thanks and gratitude for putting your money where your mouth is, for believing in us and what we're doing here. And with that comes access to our Discord server, which we have set up. We're still building it out, but you'll be able to get into that. And so we can, if you've never used Discord before, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a great way to kind of like build a nice online community. There's chat rooms, there's video chats, which will come into on some of the more later tiers. But it's just a good place for the community to gather and have fun and share things and stuff like that. And then obviously we're going to be doing, I think we've decided that our first Patreon only, what's the right word? The exclusive Patreon content is that segment we've been talking about doing for a while, our Scroll Down the Streets.
Yes.
Where we kind of commentate through our active Twitter feeds. It's going to be a really good time.
So and we talked about it before, so just to detail more what we're going to do with that, right? And we have some other things already. We're going to bring back, excuse me, the Descent, so we'll have some written content that comes later on in the tiers here, but we're going to bring back some old content. But as far as the Scroll Down the Street, right, that's going to be, as Colin said, we're going to be showing our active Twitter feed, scrolling through it, finding some bad takes, good takes, going over them, debating some different tactics. It's going to make us think on our feed, and then we're going to have the other person kind of grade how well that argument is, whether or not we did a good job, or whether or not like that's bullshit. We got to move on. Yeah. So
I am known on Twitter for my bad takes sometimes.
It'll be a good time. It'll be a very good time.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So from
just as far as kind of the naming and things go, you will never get any less if we change something on a tier.
No.
You will never receive less. You will only ever receive more.
It might just be called something different.
yeah, but we are, like I said, it's the first one, so yeah, the names and stuff are subject to change a little bit, but none of the levels, you're not going to be getting any less content. Nothing will change as far as that goes.
Hard no. And then from there, actually, a real quick plug before we do that. If you're interested in what that might look like, go to our website, saltofthestreets.com, and you could see our old descents that we had posted, and kind of our old writing styles, and kind of get a good feel for what that might look like for you.
Postmortem.
Postmortem. There you go. I like that
it's
one.
very common to do, like we did when we did the live stream of the debates. Afterwards, we did 20 minutes or so talking about the debates. So it'll be like that. It will be less than 30 minutes, but around that, of us kind of talking about things we talked about, maybe bringing up some points that we didn't get to, or another small topic that we didn't get to, something like that. It might even be chill if we're done talking about topics. We might just have a drink talking about,
like,
we always get something. Yeah, we're going to take some questions. We have some different ideas. So.
Yeah, it'll be a really good, fun time. And then really feel like getting together and have a good time, be watching movies, talking about movies. It'll be a great, fun time.
Yeah.
So, with that, I have officially launched the Patreon.
Boom.
So you can go and sign
live.
up right now.
Patreon
I'm
is
going to
live.
go ahead and share the link out on my Twitter. So if you're following us right now, you can go over to @BigBirdOffie on Twitter.
That's right.
And it'll be floating around the rest of the social media sphere this evening and forever and on.
It's going to be part of our 37-minute ad read every week. It's going to be part of every post that we do. It's going to be tagged and everything. So, yeah, anything at all on Patreon. Excuse me. If there's any suggestions of content that you guys want to see, anything that you wanted to see from us, or anything like that, let us know. You know, if there's anything specifically, especially if you're on the Patreon. You know, if you're already paying us, you especially have the right to tell us what you think. So,
You know, one of the best things I love about this is as far as, you know, like YouTube links and stuff go like that, like you have to be you have to be at a certain level to be able to get like your own URL.
Yeah.
With Patreon. Our URL is patreon.com/saltthestreets.
I love it.
It's that easy.
I love
and
that.
now it is officially live. It's floating around the Twitterverse.
Boom.
Congratulations, buddy. We launched Patreon.
I love
It's
it.
only been 3 years.
Let's take this shot. Let's take this shot.
I think that is the shot time. Let's go. Not over the laptop. There we go. I don't trust myself today. Ooh, that bites a little bit more than the Heritage one.
Yes. So
It's not as sweet, which I kind of like, though.
it's a little more cinnamony.
Yeah.
It's a little more cinnamony.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
I kind of think this is what I had last week then.
Yeah. Yeah. That certainly could be.
So I bought this. This is not an ad. I bought this before I came here. If you've been watching the show for a while, we've been taking shots of BSB before the last few shows or during the last few shows. BSB used to be a local thing. I don't know if this is just the wrong bottle or if maybe they sold it off to somebody else. Like I don't know.
Yeah. It's very strange because that's the only brown sugar bourbon that we've ever seen out here is from Heritage Distilling out of Gig Harbor. And
The Harbor.
that's, I mean, I've seen that all the way in Jersey not last Christmas because that was COVID Christmas, but 2 Christmases ago when I was in Jersey, the local liquor store had a bottle of Heritage Distilling BSB. I definitely bought it. We definitely drank that entire bottle that night. But it's weird to be seeing this stuff. But now that I think about it, because on the back of that, where does it say it came from again? Like
This
St.
says
Louis?
that it's from St. Louis, Missouri.
It kind of seems like brown sugar bourbon. Like bourbon is obviously kind of a southern deal, right?
Yeah.
And
Kentucky
the
bourbon.
brown sugar bourbon kind of feels like a southern thing. Maybe we just didn't. Maybe it's been a thing in the South for a long
Just
time, and we've
wasn't
never
popular.
knew it until Heritage introduced it to us.
Yeah.
I want to go down the brown sugar bourbon rabbit hole now. I need to know the answer to this.
I wonder if there's a YouTube video about the history of brown sugar bourbon. that
God,
we
I
can
hope
just watch.
so. I would search YouTube now, but I don't want to not be watching our show.
No, that's
you know?
okay. There was one last thing that I wanted to bring up in the pre-show. I've been watching the show Turn, right? That was about the spies during the Revolutionary War. I finished it last week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There was like 4 seasons of it, all relatively short seasons, like 15 episodes or less, I think, and that's why I finished it so relatively quickly. Do we have some comments there?
Yeah, sorry, I was like looking
No,
down.
you're good.
Jordan actually like shot in here a while ago and was like, "It's alter ego." And I was like, "Oh, I missed
Oh.
that one." And then Carolina was like, "Maybe it's the way of restarting her mind to answer another question talking about Saki. Like, what if she? What if she likes her hair like that?" I mean, that's a really good point.
And that's why I said I know that's not the point. Like the functionality of it is not the point. And I don't know if it's because I'm a man or whatever. But that's my
You're
first
just
thing. It's like you should cut your hair. I'm like, yeah, you should cut your hair. Not because I don't like it, but because that doesn't seem like it makes sense for the lifestyle that you're leading, and you should cut your hair.
Right.
You know, if I was a mechanic or something,
That would be bad.
If
Gotta
I
have short
worked
hair.
in a pit crew, you know, I wouldn't have long hair. I would have short hair.
Be bad
you know?
decisions in life.
Exactly. Shit happens. I don't know. If I worked carpentry, probably wouldn't have long hair. People do, but I probably wouldn't. You
Right.
know.
I know
Just-
a lot of carpenters that do, and yeah, man, you got to keep
It's a
that thing
dangerous
trussed up nice and tight.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and it's not just flowing. They have
Yeah.
it tied back. It's because that's a dangerous game to play. If I was a woodshop teacher, wouldn't have long hair. I would have short hair.
You know what's really funny is I'm starting to think about it, like, because my hair's been getting pretty long lately, right? And when I'm at work, a lot of times, I'm sitting at my computer and I'm like looking down at my notes and doing math and stuff like that. And then my hair comes down and and it's become like a thing that I do
Yes.
all day long now. And I've never really, I'm just thinking about cutting my hair because it's
Yeah.
getting long, but like, it's just like a thing that I do and I don't even think about it.
Well, I've got to be honest. I'm jealous of you because your hair is light enough in weight that when you push it back, it will kind of stay. And I've been growing my hair out for months on a quest to be
Look at
able
the mop,
to,
bro.
yeah, on a quest to be able to brush my hair back and for it to stay. And it won't fucking stay. Wear a hat all day, it won't
Yep.
fucking stay. It just doesn't happen. So, so I'm jealous. I think you should be proud of it.
I do like my hair, bro.
Yeah, because
And I got good hair genes too. Like, nobody on like my dad's side of the family really lost their hair.
Your mom's family has hair.
Yep. And my mom's family has hair.
Your mom's got a full head of
And,
hair.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And so I feel good that like I'm gonna be one of those people that just has like
Yeah.
dope hair until the day I die.
I get my hair cut on Friday, so 6 days.
Over at Swole Blended.
6 days, yes. Well blended. Shout out Paul. I think I'm gonna go pretty short this time.
Yep.
Mix it up a little bit. I don't know. It's winter now, and I'm like,
Yeah,
should I
right.
even cut my hair short? So
That's why I had the beard come back because I'm like, it's getting cold out there, bro.
I'm doing this reverse thing, growing my hair out during the summer when it's all hot as balls, and now I'm like, oh, I'm tired of long hair. I want to cut my hair now that it's fucking short. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I got my hair going, doing that.
The weird idiosyncrasies we have.
Turn Revolutionary War. That's why I was
Yes,
talking about this.
yes.
So Turn. It was only like 4 seasons. I wasn't sure why that was. I was hoping that it didn't get canceled.
H. Toro says, shave it. That's my recommendation.
No, I can't. For years.
Shout
and
out
years
H.
and
Toro.
years,
Thanks for hanging out.
I shaved my own head. I just cut my own hair.
Oh yeah, I did that for a long time.
And then once I got out of high school, I stopped cutting my own hair. I just I'm gonna pay, And now I really fuck
You
with
got
Paul.
wiser way earlier than I did.
Well, now I just fuck with Paul, so I'm happy
Yeah,
to pay
Paul's
Paul
dope.
to. Yeah, he's constantly slaying it. So
Oh, yeah, and he gives you a tailored luxury experience when you go.
Yeah.
You're not getting. It's not like going to Supercuts, man. This dude
No.
takes care of you. He is just. The closest I've had to a barber that pays that close attention to you is this old crusty Italian dude I used to go to in Jersey.
Ooh.
Back when I lived there.
That's a real
Paul's
barber.
right there, dude.
Yeah.
Paul is a legit, real-ass barber. The barber that I have always wanted to find out here, and
Yeah.
I've never been able to. I cannot
Paul-
speak more highly of him.
I've told Paul